Well, Iran and the United States are testing the limits of a fragile ceasefire with new attacks in the Strait of Hormuz and the United Arab Emirates. U.S. destroyers enforcing a blockade of Iranian ports were targeted by drones, missiles, and small boats, prompting a U.S. response. President Trump says the ceasefire is still holding, even as both sides are trading strikes. Iran has also launched new attacks on the United Arab Emirates, and a proposal to end the conflict and reopen the strait remains unanswered. While one ship has made it through, thousands are still stuck, with Iran largely cut off by the blockade. U.S. intelligence says Iran could hold out for several more months, but at a significant cost, setting up a high-stakes standoff. Fox News anchor Shannon Bream with Fox News Sunday joining me now. Good morning to you.
Good to see you, Brandon.
All right, so it's not just that the U.S. is attempting a peace deal. This is a peace deal with Iran, which doesn't have a good track record. So what is the confidence level in Washington that this will get done?
Well, the president says, listen, you got the deal, you're reviewing it. I think that the talk around the White House is that he really wants a deal done by the time he concludes his trip in China next week. Certainly, they're going to be talking about China's role in this whole thing as well. But there was kinetic action back and forth yesterday. Iran's foreign minister on X this morning saying every time it looks like we're getting to a diplomatic solution, he says the U.S. does reckless military action. So it begs so many questions. Is the group that we're at the table negotiating with different than the one that's firing on ships in the Strait? Are they all one and the same? I think it's a real heavy lift, but the president said this week that he thought talks were going well and that we're inching toward an agreement.
All right, so as always the case, of course, on Sunday, you'll be looking at the world events through the lens of politics. So what's the political risk here for the president and his administration in the light of, these redistricting efforts all across the country and even midterms?
Gosh, there's so much there. And there are many questions within conservative quarters about why the president decided to do this in an election year, a midterm election year. But the administration continues to maintain that there was a very short-term, immediate, direct threat with respect to Iran and its nuclear program, which the president's always been clear that Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. And that's something that seems to have buy-in across party lines and with our allies around the world as well, whether they agree with the way that the president is tackling this particular conflict. So our polling shows people do not approve of what's going on in Iran. They don't like where gas prices are. They feel uncertain and worried about their economic situation in their own homes. So that's a lot there. Now, the redistricting could go a lot of different ways. After the Supreme Court's ruling last week, a number of southern states now are redistricting in ways that are going to be beneficial to Republicans. And we're still waiting on a decision from Virginia's Supreme Court about the referendum there that flipped 4 seats from red to blue. So it changes day by day.
Yeah, no doubt you'll be talking about this with a lot of folks on Sunday morning.
We will, and we're going to do a deep dive into the China visit upcoming for the president because there's so many big issues from Taiwan to their involvement in Ukraine and Russia and Iran, those conflicts. But we also have a family that we are going to have back on. We had them on last fall, an American woman whose father has been jailed in China. He is a Christian pastor there, and they are begging the president to bring up these cases. The president did apparently say yesterday that is going to be on his list. So we'll talk about all the expectations for that upcoming trip.
All right, Shannon, looking forward to it. We'll see you then.
See you Sunday.
Fox News Sunday with Shannon Bream airs right here on Fox 4 Sunday morning at 8 a.m.